Meet Will and Tom, two seemingly ordinary men, cursed with a gift of vast knowledge that is forever expanding. Possessing incredible insight with unparalleled skills and expertise. Let us join them as they embark on a journey to quench their thirst for the truth while answering the questions to life's most intriguing mysteries. Let us open our minds and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yes, everything is going according to plan. Soon we will have full control.
Excuse me, Mr. President. They're ready for you to deliver your State of the Union speech.
Yes, thank you. You've been a huge help, a really big help. I really appreciate all the help you've given. I'll be out there in a minute.
Thank you, sir.
After the speech, we will activate the rest of our kind hiding around the world. Contact the Kardashians and tell them it's time.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
And this is Will Stark. Whoa. Oh, God. I already messed it up. This is William Stark. Should we redo that or should we leave it in?
No, that'd be funny. We'll leave it in. Yeah, I know. I was going to say, too. I was like, I wonder if we're going to be sticking. I chose Tom. I guess I could have said, welcome back. This is Thomas Case. But.
It's just at this point, with the Dungeon Cast, I've been doing This is Will or This is Will Stark for 300 episodes. It's taking me a minute to break out of the habit if I don't think about it.
Yeah, I know. Huh? I mean, yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone's like stuck in that groove of Will Stark because I think it's funny. During the podcast, I think I always call you. I think I do say Will, don't I?
Yeah.
And then
you and the rest of the world.
Yeah, but then in real life, when we're not in the podcast, I do call you William.
Oh, okay. I haven't really noticed, but I'll try and pay attention and see if I catch it.
Yeah, I know, right? So at the beginning of this episode, we have certain things to take care of. First, I want to talk about the glass set giveaway. We announced the winner on all of our social media, and the winner was someone by the name of Mario Sleal. However, we never got any messages or anything from Mario Sleal. So hopefully we're going to announce it, here on this episode. And when this airs, hopefully Mario Sleal is listening and just get in contact with us so we know where to send that glass set to you. And if we don't hear anything by, I believe when this airs, if we don't hear anything by the 6th of June, we will have to pick another winner.
Well, hopefully Mario gets back to us. We'd like to give it away to the person who won initially. But yes, if no one claims the glass set, we'll pick another name from the pot.
Yeah, exactly. So, someone else may get a chance, but hopefully Mario Sleal, you will hear this and get in contact with us.
Mm-hmm.
And second order of business is, so we have the results for the sidekick scuffle.
Oh, yes. We did a poll and that, gosh, when was that episode? 2 episodes ago? Was that 3 episodes ago now?
Yeah, I think it was around 3 episodes ago.
I see.
And so you most probably already know the result because for one, I think I left the live results open.
Right. And this one was neck and neck to the end here.
This was neck and neck. Also, I'm going to be announcing it on our social media. I already probably announced it by the time this airs on our social media.
Definitely.
But just in case if you didn't see that, yeah, this was very close. Sidekick scuffle was a close one. I am happy to say that I won. Team Thomas won.
You won by 2 votes. I think it came down to basically who do you think would win in a fight between Kid Flash and Superboy? I feel like that's where the voting line was.
Or Wong. I think Wong was like...
Okay, so I did some research on Wong I did some research on Wong.
Yeah, okay.
Wong from the MCU would have been an amazing pick, but of course he's not a sidekick. Wong from the Marvel comic universe is not nearly as impressive. Like, I would say maybe a third as strong as Wong from the MCU. So I'm surprised if anybody was using Wong as like a swear.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if they were using him as a swear. I just felt like because of the magic element, I think that kind of tripped up people into thinking like, oh, you know what I mean? Because like even, you know, someone as powerful like as like, let's say Superman, he is vulnerable to magic.
Yeah, he's
So,
vulnerable to magic, but most mages would lose to him still.
Yeah, but I think I in my head at least, I kind of figure like, because I really do believe on your team, Kid Flash was your ace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think
like your
Kid
top
Flash
guy.
is leader of the team, ace for sure. Followed by probably Damian Wayne.
Yeah, and Damian Wayne, man.
Yeah.
You just the skills on that kid, man. You're not gonna really top that. But you want to know how really close that the actual voting was, because it was 8-6. However, it technically should be. Oh, well, I guess it would be the same, because you said you also voted on there too, didn't you?
Yeah. We both went in and voted for ourselves, as we should.
I was going to say,
it'd be weird
minus
if we didn't
my
vote for ourselves.
I know, right? Secretly, I voted for you, Will. No, just wouldn't that be
Can you
weird? That would be
imagine?
weird. Yeah. Okay, let's get down to business here.
Okay.
The question here is a really good one. I like it.
You say that every time. I'm waiting for one where you're just gonna be like, I don't like this question, but it's been on the list so long, I had to ask it. Let's go.
Oh, it'll happen, because I have 2 questions on my list that I have not used yet, and pretty soon we're gonna have to use them.
Okay.
So-
All right. Well, I mean, have they been on the list since like the beginning?
Not since the very beginning, but close
okay.
to it. Like they've been on there for a while.
Okay, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'll let you know on when we're not recording.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
So the question is, what if lizard people really infiltrated our government?
Oh no!
I know.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
know,
Parameters.
Basically, so the parameters are: a reptilian race of aliens, or quote unquote lizard people, have infiltrated our government, taking over like key political offices.
They have the Senate.
Yes.
They're 3 out of 4 of our generals in the military.
yeah, exactly. And as far as what I can tell, what the main conspiracy theory, like what the main points of this conspiracy theory says, is that supposedly this reptilian race can shapeshift and possibly have mind control capabilities. So obviously those 2 things would make it probably, I don't know, I don't want to say very easy, but fairly easy for you to go ahead and take over someone's position.
Here's a question. You say that the conspiracy theory says that they have the ability to shapeshift. Is this a biological ability, or is this some technological ability?
So from what I can gather, I think it's a biological ability.
Okay, that seems like rather like that's less believable. They should have gone with the tech one. Because the pure calories it would take that you would have to burn to change the anatomy and physiology of your body to appear to be human when you're really a scaly, reptile or whatever. Change your eyes, change your stature, change your meaty claws into human hands, get rid of your tail if you have one. And then maybe I would imagine they'd have to go as far as to like feel and appear to be warm-blooded, even if they're actually cold-blooded. Like that's true. So what is that, like 50,000, 100,000 calories for one metamorphosis? It just doesn't seem feasible.
I mean, at least within the White House, they have their own personal chefs 24/7. So I guess if they have to eat that many calories,
why Trump
they have
eats
it
so much
available.
McDonald's?
You know what? I bet you what you just said right now blew open this conspiracy, man.
My
I bet you
gosh.
all these people are like, William is right. Oh my God.
Oh no, I very much doubt that anything I have to say on this podcast will convince anyone of anything.
Well, before we go any further, though, I do want to address something real quick. It's kind of really important. It's an answer. I think I finally found the answer. Will.
Oh, okay.
Fritz must be a lizard person. And I think it fits all the reasons on why he's not around.
Okay.
But because he is a lizard person and he isn't around, I had to do my own deep dive.
Oh my God. All right. Let's hear it.
Let's go to the deep dive, shall we?
He's a lizard person. Fritz.
Details from the deep.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna read this one. This deep dive is gonna be a little bit long because I kind of feel like some people may not be familiar with a lot of like the origins of where this conspiracy started.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that I'm not, so enlighten me.
Okay, so reptilians are also called reptoids or lizard people, archons, reptilioids, saurians, or draconians. Are supposed reptilian
that's a D&D
humanoids.
term.
I know, right? Which play a prominent role in fantasy, science fiction, ufology, and conspiracy theories. The idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke. I think that's how you say the last name, Icke.
I feel like that name's familiar.
Yeah, it's either David Icke or David Icky.
I'm pretty sure it's Ike.
Yeah, it's probably Ike. David Icke, a conspiracy theorist who claims shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human societies. Icke has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are or are possessed by so-called reptilians.
What does possessed by mean? What?
Yeah, right. I know possessed by. I think that's part of where this mind control thing comes into.
Okay.
The one thing though I thought was kind of weird, was kind of trippy about this is I don't know if you are, again, you're a youngin', so I don't know if you remember this show. This show technically is before my time as well, but
okay.
I do remember my dad watching it. It was a show called V, like the letter V.
Okay.
And basically what it was literally this theory almost. It was reptilian type aliens or whatever. They came to Earth and they mimic humans so that way they can like infiltrate all of our levels of government. But basically they didn't the way they did it was like they used I don't know what it was, but they used like skin suits. Like
Ew.
These suits look like, yeah, exactly. They look like human, but like every once in a while, during the show, whenever there was like somebody who was, no, yeah, that would be, I know. Or you see one of them go like, hey, could you please zip up my back? No, basically what happened was like somebody would be on to them, right? Like, oh, I know that this person's a lizard person. And they would fight and then they would like scratch their face and the skin layer would get scratched and underneath you would see this lizard reptilian type alien.
For sure. Man, you gotta think that those flesh suits have to be like stifling and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know, right? I would think that would be. Well, but you know what, though? I do wonder, would they keep them warm, like you said, if they were cold-blooded, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. It just I would still imagine it'd be suffocating and moist and
Yeah. So the other parts I got for the deep dive here are just like certain things where it was people who were like mentioning these lizard people out loud, right? And it kind of perpetuated, the group, the conspiracy theorists, and kind of fueled, right, some of their ideas. So in politics, someone was quoted as saying, evil reptilian kitten eater from another planet was a pejorative referring to then Ontario Liberal Party opposition leader Dalton McGuinty in a press release disseminated by the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario on September 12, 2003, during the provincial election campaign in Ontario, Canada. In the closely fought 2008 U.S. Senate election in Minnesota between comedian and commentator Al Franken and incumbent Senator Norm Coleman, one of the ballots challenged by Coleman included a vote for Franken with lizard people written in the space provided for write-in candidates. Lucas Davenport, who later claimed to have written the gag ballot, said, I don't know if you've heard the conspiracy theory about the lizard men. A friend of mine, we didn't like the candidate, so we were at first going to write in revolution, but because we thought that was good and to the point, then we thought of the lizard people would be even funnier.
Right. Okay. I mean, I see the joke for sure.
Yeah. In February 2011, on the Opie and Anthony radio show, the comedian Louis C.K. jokingly asked former U.S. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld a number of times if he and Dick Cheney were lizard people who enjoyed the taste of human flesh.
Holy shit.
Amused by Rumsfeld's Rumsfeld's refusal to directly answer the question.
Oh my
CK suggested it as a possible admission of guilt. He went on to further muse that perhaps those who are lizard people cannot lie about it when asked if they are lizards. They either have to avoid answering the question or say yes.
That would be wild.
I mean, I know, but like, it's so funny. Like, I would be laughing at this, but you got to imagine then that there's people seeing that and they're like, oh, it's true. It's
they're
true.
like, it must be. He has to be a lizard person. Only a lizard person would answer like that. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. And then this last one I got here. This is the one that I actually saw this. I remember when it was pointed out on the news, and I just thought it was so funny. Like just because like it wasn't just funny because it's ridiculous, but it was funny because like this was the only one where I could kind of be like, it kind of does look like a lizard person. Like. On March 4th, 2013.
Okay. Who is it going to be?
A video depicting a security agent with unusual features guarding a speech by U.S. President Barack Obama was spotlighted in a Wired report about shape-shifting reptilian humanoids. This led to a tongue-in-cheek response from Chief National Security Council spokeswoman Caitlin Hayden, who said, any alleged program to guard the president with aliens or robots would likely have to be scaled back or eliminated in the sequester. So I mean, I guess that's basically like their funny way of like honestly answering like, okay, if we were going to do this, you know, it wouldn't work, you know? But I do remember showing them showing that video. And honestly, the person, like, they did have.
I'm looking at the image right now. Number one, it's super blurry. Number two, it's obviously like not just a side profile, but it's like a side profile with a slight like movement blur on it. And like, I mean, I see his ears, I see his eyes, I see his nose shape. He's got a little bit of a protruding chin, like. He's definitely got like sloped brow thing going on, and he's bald, and everyone's got to villainize the bald guys. I got to go on one of these days. I'm going to go on a rant about how bald people are always depicted as evil people in movies. But anyways, that's for another day.
I know.
Man, this poor guy. He looks normal. He does not look like a reptile.
I know. That's why I didn't want to go like too harshly on him. Yeah. But like, you know, but that was funny. I was like, oh my God, they're going to take this guy now. And I remember thinking the same thing when you brought up the baldness, because I'm bald too. Like I was like, oh man, I was like, you have to say that because he's bald. Like, is that what you guys are doing now? But it was just, I laughed.
No, it is funny. Have you ever heard of a movie? It would have come out in the early 90s. It was shot in black and white. The director is someone of note, but I can't remember the name. But the movie is called now I just forgot the name of the movie right now. It's called
it was a black and white movie? Like, but it was
shot black and white, but it was in the 90s, and it was very much about this exact premise. And oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up now.
You know what's funny that you say that though? I do remember them. Remember the show I talked to you about called V? They did try to bring it back, and I think they first tried to bring it back in a movie form.
I do not think this is it, because this is a very famous movie because what it really is it's metaphorical commentary on like runaway capitalism, but it's, you know, it's presented as these lizard people kind of. Well, they're not really lizard people. They're like aliens. Oh okay, my gosh, it's gonna kill me because this is, I really want to talk about like this movie has so basically I'm just gonna talk about the premise of the movie, and the name will probably come to me. But there's this guy, he's like a working class guy. He's kind of one of those dudes who kind of roams from job to job, and like life's got him down, and you know, but he's just working and trying to make a living and whatnot. And all around him, there's like political unrest, and like there's people who are unhappy with the system, and yada yada yada. And he, I think he keeps picking up this radio station that's trying to like basically say like, hey, don't believe what they tell you. Like don't listen to them. They're trying to control us, kind of deal. And he ends up finding there's like this resistance faction of humans that are basically saying like everyone in control, whether it's politicians or businessmen or military leaders, like they've all been replaced by aliens, right? And like they have these special sunglasses that allow you to see them. And he gets a hold of these sunglasses, and he begins to see all these alien people, and they look kind of like exoskeleton, reptile human looking things. It's hard for me to describe. I mean, they look very chintzy, which being shot in black and white was actually a big, good choice.
Okay. I don't really, none of this sounds familiar at all.
And, okay, so one of the most famous lines. So at some point he goes full rogue because he starts seeing like that it's every time it's a person in power oppressing somebody not in power, it's always one of these aliens oppressing humans. And he kind of goes crazy, and he ends up going like completely berserk and rogue. And like there's a scene where he's in a bank with like a shotgun, and he's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum, or something like that. It's like a really corny line, but it's a very famous line.
Oh, what? That line does sound familiar.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, this one actor's in it. He's a black man. He's got just an incredible voice, and you've heard him a million times. He usually plays like mean general type guys. What's his name? He's in The Thing. He co-stars with Kurt Russell. Why can't I remember his name either?
Man, I can't. None of this is sounding.
But Keith David is his name. You've seen him 1,000 times, I guarantee you. He's amazing. I probably
have. I love Keith saw the
David.
face, yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Keith David is also like a construction worker like this guy, and kind of a friend of his. Like not an actual friend, but like they've had a few moments where like in passing, I think they've helped each other out, but they don't really know each other. And the main guy keeps trying to get him to wear the sunglasses. And the dude's like, no, I don't want your glasses. Stop being fucking weird. And it ends up turning into this fist fight in the alley that like lasts way too long. Like it's a famous fight from film where like the fight goes on for, I'm not kidding, like 7 minutes too long. Like it should have been a 60-second fight, but it just keeps going. But eventually the guy gets the glasses on Keith David, and then Keith David sees the aliens, and then it's like him and Keith David going rogue against these aliens. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It has something to do with them or they live. That's what it's called. The movie's called They Live. So you should look up They Live Aliens and tell me if I got the description of what these aliens look like right.
Let's see.
They're like skeleton alien monsters, but they're.
You know what's funny is you saying the word. I think there was another one called Them as well.
Okay, and so
Let's see. They Live.
I don't remember how it ends, but yeah, these monstrous skeletal. They almost look like radioactive zombies. Anyways, it's the same premise as the lizard people.
I see. Okay, yeah, kind of. They look all like.
Highly recommend.
Weird.
Okay, I'm calling it now. This is what we're doing. This will be our second movie review. We both need to watch They Live and come back and review this movie.
Okay, They Live movie review.
Yeah, because this movie is wild. It's a wild movie. But let's get back to the question. We've gone kind of way off.
The question is though, like, what if they are? You know what I mean? They are real, and they have infiltrated our government.
Okay. So, do you know from what you've read about these conspiracy theories, besides just control, is there any like overarching goal? Like, is there any like what's the purpose? Like, why do what they're doing?
So here's the problem with that. When I was going down when I was traveling down the Google hole, right? And I was,
the Google hole. That's gross. That sounds gross.
I know that sounds good. It was gross, to be honest. If you think about it, there's, you know, if you were really able to travel down a Google hole, it would be gross.
Indeed.
But you know, the problem is that there's so many people now, like with their own, you know, conspiracy theories and their own ideas and their own thoughts. You know, I don't know what was the first main thing. The first main things that I've always got, which seems consistent, is that they can shapeshift and that they can, they have some modicum of mind control. It never says that they could like fully control your mind, but I'm assuming you know.
This is basically Secret Invasion with the Skrulls in the Marvel comics. Which, and like, Skrulls from Marvel Comics kind of do look like reptile people.
Yeah, that's true.
And they do shapeshift, and I believe there's some modicum of mind control amongst like their queens and whatnot, right?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about for the scrolls. As far as the question you asked about like for a goal, I haven't really seen anything other than like everybody's, like why would they do that unless they're going to try to one day enslave Earth? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I've also came across other things like of them saying like this alien race were having problems with reproducing, and so now they've infiltrated our government areas to make it safer, to make it a safer environment for them to live in, because now they want to crossbreed with humans.
Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? But I'll be honest with you.
Is there a downside?
Yeah, I know, right?
I want to be a
shapeshifter. I wonder if it'll work like that. You know what I mean?
know.
Like if you were the product of a human and a lizard person.
Well, I mean, I would imagine. Okay, let's go with the weird breeding one. Like they're trying to turn humans into like basically like a sex slave race. Dear God.
Okay.
If that's what they're trying to do to propagate their own race, I would imagine that like their genetics are probably going to be more dominant. Otherwise, why do it? You know what I mean? So I imagine like half lizard, half humans are probably going to be lean hard on the lizard and gain a lot of like the lizard biological what's the word? Abilities and stuff, So otherwise, why else do it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't know, but that being a reason doesn't seem right to me. It just seems to me like if you're having trouble breeding, you would like do different, I don't know, experiments with your embryo and eggs to try and like strengthen the genetic line. I don't see the crossbreeding being the thing that they would want.
And again, that was one of those like, it wasn't a common theme, you know what I mean? But like, I didn't find a huge common theme on what their actual goal. Like, I don't know if there's like a whole, conspiracy, like lizard people conspiracy theorist group that's like, our consensus is that their goal of doing this is this, you know what I mean?
Oh, I bet you there is. I absolutely bet you there is.
Oh yeah, there probably is. I just didn't see it.
Okay,
but,
so
I didn't go too far in the gross Google hole. I just kind of quickly was trying to look for some information. But yeah, that, like I said, there's a lot of people who put their 2 cents in, so I don't know what's what.
Well, okay, so then that means we need to come up with a reason why this would be the truth, right? So like, why would a race of shape-shifting I imagine they're high tech. Are they aliens? Hold on, we never actually said they're aliens. Are they from space?
Oh no, yeah, they're reptilian aliens. Yeah, they're a reptilian race of aliens.
Okay, so they're from space, meaning they're capable of interstellar travel, or at least were at some point. And
yeah, exactly.
They're here either willingly or they're trapped here, and they've decided to take over the government for reasons. So
right, and so far we haven't like had any, as far as we know, we haven't had any really violent confrontations with them. It doesn't seem like they're like trying to systematically kill us or
no, definitely
or,
not.
Like
so far it doesn't seem like it. Okay,
yeah,
and also we've managed to have a written down historical civilization for about 6,000 years now, and they've maintained really low profile. So bear with me here. This is what I think. This is the most likely scenario in which this could possibly be real. A research vessel comes to our solar system in order to research the planets and see if they can find extraterrestrial life. Because of some sort of system malfunction, they get completely stranded and they crash land on our Earth, and there's probably a limited number of them, right? We'll say 50. And they decide to stay low and wait for rescue. And this maybe this takes a course over millennia, right? And in the meantime, they're observing the human race. At some point, the news comes through, no one's coming for them. It's too much resources. Maybe there was a civil war back on their planet. It doesn't matter. They're on their own. Meanwhile, for millennia, they've been watching humans basically be terrible to each other for a very long time.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe at some point, one or two, or maybe a group of them decided like, we need to do something because they're going to nuke each other unless we do something. And so then they decide, okay, well, we have a certain amount of tech. We're not biological shapeshifters because that's stupid, but we do have the technology to make it happen. So maybe we disguise ourselves and we infiltrate the government and we try and guide it from within to avoid mutually assured destruction.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with what if they're actually the good guys?
Yeah, no. You know what? That's very interesting. The way I would have thought would be, okay, almost similar to what you said about them coming over just for exploration, right? At first,
Yeah.
And I kind of think you can use this to spin off and support another conspiracy theory about like the Roswell crash and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, sure.
And I feel like that there may have been an actual crash that happened, and our government does know about it, and there's probably humans who do know about the lizard people's existence, right? But because that, I figure like it would have to be some kind of deal that was struck to where they would allow some of these like I guess if you look at it, you can kind of look at them as being ambassadors, right? They're going to be allowed to be in certain hold political offices in our government, so that their interests, even though they're very small in population, but that their interests would be protected.
Okay,
you know
so
what I mean?
I got two problems with this. The first being like, what would any government benefit from allowing these reptiles to have any type of representation? Like, why?
Receiving technology.
Why when we can take it?
That's what I think.
Why when we can take it?
Maybe we couldn't. I'm just saying, like, maybe we. I mean, you never know. It's alien technology, you know what I mean? And who knows how long it would have taken us to figure out how to use it,
maybe,
or how to whatever,
All right.
Because like it is kind of weird that you've seen the jump in technology, you know what I mean? And wait a minute, before I start keep going. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying, but you've seen you know how technology sometimes seems to take that leap forward, where it's all of a sudden like, oh snap, look at like 10 years ago we didn't have anything like this. Look at it now. You know what I mean?
Sure, but like if you just look at like the historical increase of tech over the course of like centuries, you see that it's kind of like on an exponential curve. So like that shit, you can see that going all the way back to like the 1600s, this has been the natural progression of progress, if you will, technological progress.
You and I, non-conspiracy theorists, know this, but like I'm trying to give an explanation to this conspiracy theory. Like if this were to happen, that's the way I would. I don't know. That's the kind of route I see that happening in.
Another thing, one more, and I'm not to nitpick your theory, but the other thing too is I guess in your theory, they crashed and got caught. Cause I was like, if you're these fucking lizard people, the last thing you're ever going to do is let humans know you're real. Because like, if the government was going to try and take advantage and oppress and use, and if it gets out to the public, there's going to be huge swaths of society that immediately want to persecute, execute, or get rid of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
you know what though? I do have a conspiracy theorist answer to that. So like, what if they got caught, right? Like, what if their craft crashed and then they got caught, right? And they were taking into a secret facility, right? Area 51, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And then but then they you're right. Like if you're caught, you're probably not going to let your captors know your full capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. You want them, you want the element of surprise on your side as much as you can. Mm-hmm. So then while they're in jail or being kept captive, these alien beings, however they can shapeshift and take the form of another, I'm assuming at some point, one of them surprised them by taking over the body of the other, you know what I mean, of another human, escaping that way. Maybe multiple did that too. You know, I mean, you never know, you know what I mean? And then people would just see them and they'd think, oh, there's Tom,
Bob.
There's Bob coming down the corridor here. He's just regular old Soldier Bob, right?
Soldier Bob. Okay, well, in both scenarios, we essentially have a stranded race that seems to be trying to take control of the reins of things in order to stay alive. Is that where we're at? And maybe the crossbreeding thing is just the product of the fact that there's not enough of them to keep their race going.
Yeah, that would make the more sense.
Well, I mean, so number one, if it's my scenario, then it ends up that it's better that they're doing what they're doing because they've kept us from destroying ourselves. if it's your scenario, it's almost to me like, well, okay, well then what's the difference between the way things were versus the way things are? Either way, it's an elite group of people that have no idea what it means to like be a normal citizen in a country, and they're equally doing a bad job of providing a good governance to the people. I mean, maybe they're doing a better job. I mean, I would argue that like a lot of governments today are doing a better job than they have historically when it comes to like providing for their people, et cetera, even though there's a plethora of problems.
Yeah, exactly. And that might be attributed to them.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, you know what? I do like your version of things of how they. No, I think that would really make a good kind of a twist in like a short story film or something where you would think, oh, alien invaders, but then you see that no, like they're doing that because they kind of foresee what the future of human behavior is going to bring, and they're trying to stop that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're trying to stop this destruction we may be going towards.
Yeah. And maybe the breeding program isn't a breeding program. It's just, when you've spent enough time amongst people, emotions start flying. Next thing you know, we have lizard folks fall in love with human folks, and then their babies are half lizard, half humans. And like, those are love babies. So
yeah, exactly. You know what? You're absolutely right, man. But man, this makes me think like, I really want to know now, like what our listeners think. Like, let us know what you think. If reptilian aliens have infiltrated our government, what do you think their goal is actually? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think they're here for?
It's all about them reptilian love children.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, could you imagine? The podcast you have just heard are the imaginings from the highly evolved minds of the extra-dimensional beings, Will and Tom. It has been translated into a format more easily understood by the human mind. Interpret it as you will. Should you find yourself seeking more answers to life's most intriguing mysteries, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/dude-could-you-imagine. You can also leave an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_could-you-imagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. We can also be reached through our email, dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com. We leave you now so that you may gather your thoughts. Until we meet again, to ponder the meaning of the cosmos and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? When I was traveling down the Google hole, right, and I was,
the Google hole. That's gross. That sounds gross.
I know that sounds. It was gross, to be honest. If you think about it, there's, if you were really able to travel down a Google hole, it would be gross.
Indeed.
But